brings the laughter, keeps us rolling along. David's in the corner, sipping soda with a grin. Dustin's got the stories, let the chaos begin. Take a breath, we're here to unwind. Even when it's crazy, it's a good time. Calm down, it's fine, take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing with the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin, guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide.
Y'all really ever gonna let me live that
It's
one down?
my turn to tell a
Go
work
ahead.
story. I don't have anything. I'll never have anything.
Just tell the story about the cameras and the crawl space again.
Did I tell that on the podcast?
You did.
It was
It's
a joke.
still the
We don't want to hear it
craziest-
again.
Okay. I don't. I was like, I don't want to tell that again. No. So this is the last person that I remember we hired at where I work to do service, and so his background was like he came on to do maintenance, right? We do HVAC, so HVAC maintenance, right? But he's kind of older, and I don't think he really understood what he was doing, what he was signing up for. He thought it was just like he worked maintenance at an apartment complex. So that's what he thought he was going to do, which is drastically different than going to someone's house to do a maintenance on their heating and air equipment.
Right.
So what happened was we ultimately had to like train him on how to do this, in like, I don't know, 8 months or however long it was. And like he would never retain any information. Like you could teach him the same, like, and have him do it and have him do it over and over and over again. And then he would try to do it by himself with no help, and he would just no idea what he was doing. But my boss kept trying to like help him. We lost a couple customers because of him, because he showed up to his house, to these people's houses.
Did they die?
No, not like that.
We lost a couple customers.
No, it's been a while.
That's a tough go. Once, everyone's gonna get one of them.
You think too fast. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have picked that up.
It'd be even sadder if that's how they like viewed death.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like, oh, it's so sad these people died. It was like, oh, we lost some customers.
Awesome. That's like, yeah, they don't pay us and we shoot them. Like, they lost some customers a day.
It's tough for the pesticides.
Oh, man.
guy.
It's a tough go.
Like, okay, here's an example,
go ahead,
right?
sorry.
So he would be like doing a main. He'd call me, like he's like, "Hey, how do I work this thermostat again?" I'd be like, "Well, what kind is it?" And he would be like, "It's white." I'm like, "Well, that's all of them."
That's pretty popular.
I was like, "Is it square or is it rectangle?" And he'd be like, "I don't know. Like, do you not know what the shape is? Is it or the sides?" Anyway, and then eventually I'd be like,
FaceTime would have been big for him.
yeah, I'm like, well, that don't even give me now. He would voice text everything.
Everything's in all caps.
So anyway, and then I'm like, what? Can you just pull it off the back and read it or something? And then he turns around, and I didn't know this. The customer is right behind him, and he said, "Ma'am, do you know what kind of thermostat you have?" And I'm like, did all this happen in front of the like? Oh my gosh! So
What a guy.
yeah. So but anyway, we end up losing that person.
Oh,
No,
You don't say.
But look, so what he did get fired, and the reason he got fired was because and I know he had some issues with this job because he called me about it, and I tried to steer him in the right direction, whatever. But what happened was he obviously in front of the customer did not look like he was competent. So the customer told him, "Hey, I don't want you to do any work here. I want you to leave and then just have them send someone else to finish because I don't think you know what you're doing." And he said, "No."
Nah.
So
not gonna
yeah,
do that.
and so yeah, he was like, "No, I no, I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna finish the maintenance." And it was like, "No, get out of my house." And apparently, it got really heated to the point where they called the police, and then he left before the police got there. And then he called our boss and said, "Hey, I just want you to know that I got kicked out of someone's house, but I didn't want to leave because I didn't want you to find out and get mad and fire me." And he was like, "Well, I have to fire you now. You refuse to leave someone's personal it was still
What a guy.
like it's most insane. Like, can you? You're in someone's house and they're like, "Get out."
my
Do you argue? I'm
goodness.
like, "No, I'm gonna stay." Yeah. So that was and I'm like, this guy.
my
this guy wasn't there on Monday, and I was like, and we knew we'd be struggling, but he was being really great. Our boss was being very gracious with him, like really trying to help him out because like his life was kind of a mess. And then I talked to our service manager, like, where's this guy? Like, did he get fired? And he's like, oh, you didn't hear it? And he told me the story. Like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. And that was already on top of a bunch of other terrible things that had happened that week.
Golly.
Like, and he was showing, like, confidently diagnosing stuff that was like way off.
Nah.
I don't have anything to top that. I did fracture my skull when I was a kid. Wow. But that was it. Maybe there's something else I can think of.
This is all
that's
coming
probably
off of Jesse Clark's email.
Yeah, I want to say
self. That I forgot to read.
We were talking about lawnmowers, and I just had one question that I wanted to put to rest. So, I got a push mower a couple years ago. It's a particular type, and I said what kind it was, and I got like ripped on by a bunch of old guys that I worked with, like, oh, like saying it was like some like new way of talking, whatever. So I just want I'm going to give you a prompt, and I want you to answer the question honestly. Okay, you have a push mower.
Okay.
The push mower, when you pull the lever, will move on its own. What do you call that? Like, what kind of push mower do you call it?
A pull mower.
Oh, I guess an automatic push mower, an automated.
Assisted.
I was looking for walk behind.
Walk behind.
Okay.
Walk behind. Okay.
Have you heard of that like term before?
Mm-hmm.
They acted like that was the most. They're like, well, you walk behind every push mower. Like, no, you push every push mower. With a walk behind, it's self-propelled. You just walk behind it.
Right.
We got into this great big, and I pulled it up on the internet. It was like,
who is this you're arguing with?
This is like Collins, Tony, and Jim. I don't think you have to cut their names. I don't think it's a big deal. But and they're like, and the same thing. Okay, like kerosene or diesel fuel, the heaters that are like torpedo shaped. They're called torpedo heaters.
Yeah, because they're torpedo shaped.
Yes, they kept calling them salamander heaters, and I was like, that's a totally different thing. That's an electric heater. It's on wheels that you like move around like. And they were like, they ripped up like, because I'm young, like, oh, that's you just this young boy terms. Like, my grandfather, who's as old as the world, calls them torpedo heaters. I've never heard anyone call them anything different.
They were calling them salamanders?
Yes.
I have never heard salamanders. No, I take that back. I've heard people call them salamanders, but I'm always like, it's a torpedo heater.
Salamander heaters are totally different.
I know, they are.
Completely different type of thing.
Anyways, we have a couple more comments.
Well, to finish that
was the
question.
Comment. I've been
this
on these.
This is a salamander heater.
Yes, it is.
They call it that because you hook a ductwork to the front of it. You
torpedo heaters at the top.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So I've self-inflicted to make me question my own intelligence. I'd have to say is one of there's one that pops into my head. I guess maybe outside of the motorcycle wreck, because that was my fault, and I made a boo-boo and I paid for it dearly. But when I was a kid, we put a trampoline next to a basketball hoop.
Oh, well, I can see how this gets out of hand.
Yeah. Anytime a trampoline's involved, a kid is getting injured.
Oh, there's always going to be something.
100%. But when we were kids, we put this trampoline next to a basketball hoop, and we were like, dunking it and like having fun and stuff like that. Well, I don't know why. Again, questioning my own intelligence. I guess I just forgot we were next to the basketball hoop, and I was standing like under the hoop,
buddy,
and I jumped. I mean, I jumped hard, and the metal rim clipped me right here on the top of my head.
Oh, buddy.
And I was like, oh, dude, that hurts so bad. And I stood up and I looked at my friends, and they said like blood was just like. Bleh.
That gives me a headache just thinking about like.
I mean, I forgot about it in a matter of minutes that it was there. Like, we were literally.
I'm sure you forgot a lot after that.
We were shooting and dunking on the thing, and then in less than an like half hour, I was like, it just left my mind that this metal hoop was there, and I jumped full force into it and just. And I mean, I've done that a couple of trampolines they're the most dangerous thing ever invented.
But they're awesome.
I was at my buddy, at Phil Hess's house. His room was in the basement, and we were there, and Banana's like, dinner's ready. And they had like one of those little mini trampolines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dinner's ready. And we went running across the basement. And I just running.
Oh, the ceiling.
Yeah. And I was like, woo. And I jumped on this little mini trampoline. And I went, dunk. And dude, I mean,
And
just
completely forgot what trampolines do.
head ceiling, bro. I was like, let's go eat.
All
And
right,
I was like so excited. And I was like, boom. And just, and it just, bro.
David.
And I just,
when you jumped on it, you were only like a couple inches from the ceiling.
yeah, bro. In the basement. Yeah, dude, you're in the basement. You can reach up and touch the ceiling anyway.
David, I have a question.
Phil said my whole body just went limp. I was like, bonk. And then I
David.
just fell straight to the ground.
David, okay, so you're running.
Yep.
You see the trampoline.
Uh huh.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna jump. Like, what? Walk me through your process.
All right. So we're in the room. We're in his room. Playing PlayStation or something. I don't even remember what we were doing. But we're in his room. And Aunt Banana goes, dinner is ready. So we walk out the door. And when you walked out the door of his room, you had to go across the whole basement to the stairs that lead up to like the kitchen and the kitchen area and stuff like that. In the middle of the basement.
How old were you?
Dude.
Too old for the bro. 16, 17.
It's 2 months ago.
17?
Yeah, it was like 16, 17.
You're a grown man.
Oh, well, don't say that, bro. There's going to be some listeners who are 16, 17 who are definitely not grown men, and they're going to be walking around like, Cameron said I'm a grown man.
You
So,
were fully grown.
too old. And I was like, so she said,
Just dropped
she said,
him.
dinner's ready, and we were like, let's go.
I had first envisioned you as like 8 or 9 or 10.
No.
I'm like,
No,
oh, he's a little kid.
probably
No.
16-ish. Maybe 17 is probably too old. I was probably 16, 15, somewhere around there. Because this is when they were living in Smyrna. But we come out of his room.
That doesn't help it though.
We start. No, it doesn't. Entirely too old to do something this dumb. And we went. We were running across the basement.
Yeah.
I see the trampoline, and I go, I'm gonna launch.
As one does.
Yep.
Just-
I go, I'm gonna hit it and launch off of it.
Forward.
Yeah,
Because that's
because that's how trampolines work.
physics.
Yep. So I was like, so I run up. So beep, boop, 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 boop. I run up to the trampoline, and I'm talking 2 feet, just like, I mean, put everything into it.
That is like you drive. You're on the highway. You drive by. You're about to drive by Dairy Queen. Like, man, I want Dairy Queen. And then you open the door while your car is going 70 miles an hour. And get out.
yeah, that's
Dude, I'm talking like
Exactly
boop, 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 running. I mean, 2 feet planted, just like, and
you could hear the theme music.
That's
yeah, dude.
yes.
Instead
the
of going
confidence
forward,
was maxed out because there was no thought like this will end badly. It was just good, and then
yeah.
yeah, dude. And I hit it, and I went straight up, and I said, and I'm talking like, I mean, I felt the entire circumference of my skull meet the ceiling, like the entire thing said, "Gunk," and then I just said, dude, I'm talking, just landed. I said, boom, and Phil is laughing hysterically.
I would have given up. Just like I'm making camp here.
Dude, bro, my head was ringing. I was like, I'm pretty sure I gave myself a concussion.
Bells will be ringing.
Yeah, dude, bro, I'm talking.
Sad tune.
Dude, there were cartoon characters at the dinner table that night. I was like, dude, what am I seeing right now?
Speaking of,
Can we turn the lights off? It's
Yeah.
giving me a headache. Like it was rough.
when I was
That,
when I was probably 8 or 9.
Oh, I'm now I'm getting all these things come back to me.
I was pogo sticking in the garage without the rubber piece on the bottom.
Pogo sticks also always end in tears.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, we used to count in the like hundreds at a time.
No,
Anyways,
I got to like 5. I don't think I ever got more than 5.
I don't think I have the patience to do that. For that
just
long.
like box ball, I got more than you.
That was
So-
brutal. Did we ever talk about that?
No. So on the pogo stick, it didn't have the rubber at the bottom. It's just the bare metal.
Which
and I was
is-
like going, and I don't remember anything except waking up in my garage on the floor I just remember opening my eyes.
with a pogo stick through his calf.
I got up, I walked to the garage door that went inside, and I walked straight into the molding beside the garage door. And this is crazy because I was probably 8 or 9, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember hardly anything from 8 or 9, but I remember this whole thing. And I had a concussion, but I remember everything that happened in this whole night. Like I remember being in the air upside down, like when it flipped. Like I remember all this. Isn't it weird how like your body?
Yeah, I understand. When
I remember boing, 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 and I remember being in the air, and then I remember waking up, and I'd been passed. I don't know how long I was out, but I walked into the door.
He was in a coma for 2 years.
Then I moved over, went through the door, walked inside, and my
just left him
mom
there.
and Meredith were sitting in the living room doing something, and I turned to go through the opening, and I hit the wall. I missed the opening, and they're like, "What's going on?" And they knew something, and I had a knot on the back of my head.
Yeah.
It was a Wednesday night. I couldn't go to church. I was so upset. They wouldn't let me go to sleep because I had a concussion. But yeah, that was something. It was like,
When I fractured my skull, I wrecked my go-kart, and I smacked my head against the frame, and I same thing. Like I remember turning the go-kart,
right.
and I don't remember anything until I was laying sideways in the go-kart. Like, that hurt, and then I don't actually know what happened. I just
Right.
know that it went sideways, and I got up, and I was like. But what was crazy, like my head didn't even hurt at first. Like it was my arm hurt because that scraped something. But then like 2 hours later, I was like, man, my head really hurts. And it was just like this great big, it looked like Elephant Man.
and how did they fix the fractured skull?
I don't remember.
They haven't.
He said, "I don't remember."
I remember going to the hospital and I remember getting a CAT scan. And that's the first and only one I've ever had.
Yeah.
And then I tried to ask the doctor what the difference was between a CAT scan and MRI, and he was basically like, "Shut up."
What is it?
It's like, I don't know.
One. I guess I would assume one's for bones, one's for intestines, maybe.
I have no.
One's for cats.
MRI. MRI is for bones, I think.
Stand by.
One is the cat looks you over. And the other
CAT
one-
scan takes a fast series of X-ray pictures, which are used to put together, create images of the area that was scanned. MRI uses strong magnetic fields to take pictures inside the body. So I guess I would. CAT scan is.
So it's just a technique.
I had
I guess,
another one like that where I was riding my 4-wheeler and I put my legs up on the fenders
Yes.
and it made me not be able to steer, and I had done that like about 30 feet in front of a shed, right before a shed, the neighbor's shed. I was like,
The
"Oop."
neighbor shed.
Yep, and I woke up upside down. With
You guys have been knocked out a lot, huh?
I woke up upside down.
No,
I had
that's
a
the only
hockey-
time
I
I
had
can
a
think of.
hockey helmet on, which did not protect anything here. But you see this little cut?
Uh-huh.
See it?
Uh-huh.
You see that cut?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
I
tiny
woke
one,
up
yeah.
with the gear shifter through my
Oh,
lip.
I think you told me this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My lip all the way through. And I walked around and I was like, I got a hole in my lip to my neighbor.
From
I got
the gear shit, like on the
Like
with
I
your
was,
foot.
I was upside down. So I assume what happened was I hit something
Yeah.
on the front of it and then I just fell over. But
Wow.
it went right through. I mean, it was all the way through.
You
I
had to
could
have hit that hard because that's blunt.
I was
No doubt.
again.
It's
I was
like-
again. I was 8, 9, 10, something like that.
When I was a kid, I have a scar that's like in my eyebrow right here. I don't know if you can see it. At certain points of the year, like when my eyebrow gets like darker and then
Scar
it gets
will
like
show.
super lighter. So it's like certain parts of the year, depending on how much sun I've gotten, you can see it. When we were in the basement at my aunt and uncle's house in we were in
That was funny.
we were in the basement at my aunt and uncle's house playing like hide and seek and stuff in the dark.
Seek and hide.
Yep. And I was standing in the
On the promises.
and the light, it's like dark pitch black. You're in the basement, you can't see anything. I'm not it.
It's pitch of
I think
color.
I think my brother is it who's
2025.
behind me, and he goes to tag me, and I bolt forward to like get away from him,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not realize that I was approximately like 14 inches away from the corner of the wall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, full speed ahead, didn't realize I was that close to the corner. I just headbutt it, like, with all of the strength my body could muster. And I mean, like, dude, eyebrows split open, blood. And then, there's blood in my eye. I'm freaking out. I'm a kid, so I'm, like, crying. My aunt...
I mean, that's nothing new.
We go upstairs, and... my aunt is like, we're probably gonna have to do stitches, and I'm like, I start freaking out.
I thought, put him down.
Put him down. We're gonna have to put him
I
down.
guess.
Yeah,
Like
we got a broken leg and
like
put him down.
Yeah. So I start freaking out that they're gonna like give me stitches or something like that, and like and there it is. I can feel it. Battle scars, bro.
I was gonna say something.
My cutter scar right here. Again, I can tell you what was happening before. I don't know how it happened.
Do you guys have CTE? Because I feel like, huh?
I remember all these traumatic things. So I was standing by my dresser. We were still going to Frederica, so I know I was 6, 7, or 8. I was no older than that, and I had a razor blade that I got. Dad, it was like one of those that broke off.
Because that's what you give 6 or 7, 8-year-olds.
It was like a box cutter,
Yeah.
a yellow box cutter. And I remember it on my dresser, and I think what happened, I don't remember. Sometimes I think the devil is trying to kill me in this instance, because I remember holding it, and I don't remember how I got cut. But it cut. Look at that.
I see it.
I was a kid, and I got that cut.
Yeah, and you still have this great big scar.
Yeah, but I think... I like had it and it like fell, and I like caught it. Or whatever. I don't know what happened. I really don't. But I know I got that cut and I was trying to hide it. I took toilet paper. I went downstairs and I was trying to fix it, and like I had a long sleeve shirt on, and I'm trying to. So it just got blood everywhere.
You almost died.
I was okay. Yeah.
Did
And that one right there, I wrecked my bicycle.
Yeah, I feel like you guys these stories you guys are telling, you guys got knocked out. CTE is what
my
happens.
bone was showing on that one.
Ugh.
I have it there. I have it here, and I have it here.
My bone was poking out my knuckle when
From
I
your bike
wrecked
wreck?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
George Mitchell, we were working at the
I just
church.
got chills when you said that, because that looks awful.
Yeah. The other ones, they go up my arm. You can't see the other ones as visibly as this one.
Bare knuckle buddies.
They're like right there.
I feel like I had bone showing for something. I just don't remember what it was.
George Mitchell, we had a work day at the church, and he needed a knife. So he's like, anybody got a knife I can use real quick? And this guy was like, I forget who handed him the knife. Somebody was like,
yeah.
Somebody was like, yeah, here, you can use my knife. And George goes, cool, thanks. Takes it, flicks it open, and he goes, the guy says, be careful. It's very sharp.
Dull.
Ow, what happens?
Huh?
Oh, no.
I promise you, before the sentence
man.
left this man's lips,
What, do you lick it or something?
George is looking at me holding his thumb like this. And he goes, David, take me to the walk-in. He's like, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I haven't looked at it, but I know it's bad. And like, George. So he's like, it's bad. It's bad. I haven't looked at it. I know
Why
it's
does
bad.
this stuff always happen around
And
you?
I go, how bad do you think it is? And he goes, really bad. And he's like, I'm scared to look. And I go, yeah, I can take you to the hospital. That's fine. And he goes, we should look at it. We should look at it, right? And I was like, I don't want to look at it. And he goes, I'm going to look at it. And then he goes like this. He goes, it's really bad. It's really bad, David. We got to go. We got to go right now. We got to go right now. And I go, how bad? So I go, okay, dude, hop in the car. So he hops in the car. I'm taking him to the hospital. And we get like halfway there. And he's like, dude, I saw a bone. So he's saying it like he was like he's like
he'd seen a ghost or
yeah,
something.
he's like a war vet. He's like, I saw a bone, man. I saw a bone. And we took him, bro. And then like George Mitchell was a crazy person. Normal. When they put him on like the drugs to help with the pain, bro, you could hear like in the waiting room, you could hear him in the back talking to the nurses.
It's crazy.
I mean, no sooner like
That's
the
wild.
sentence didn't even finish leaving this man's lips. Be careful, it's very sharp. And he was like, David.
What do you do?
David, he I guess he had the knife and he was like cutting something and he didn't realize it was that sharp and it cut through the thing and then just like talking, like I'm talking through this, right? I mean, right. He said the only reason it didn't go all the way through is because it hit his bone. He said the bone like is the reason
That's
his thumb was
crazy.
still attached because it said "kunk."
That,
And then he was looking at me and he was just like, we need to go right now. It's bad. I know it's bad.
that's crazy.
Man,
Did,
what are we talking about this? Jesse's. Yeah.
Did I ever tell the story about my brother hitting me with wiffle ball bat? Did I ever tell that?
Maybe.
I'm not sure. You'd have to start
okay.
the story.
If we
So-
don't remember, they don't.
Okay, so me and my brother, we were I
That's
don't know,
not
like
true.
maybe 9 or 10, and we were at my grandfather's farm, and we were working with him. This was like in the summer, I think, and we were about to leave to go to lunch at his house, and we were in the barn, and we had a wiffle ball bat, and we were just hitting random stuff, we could find. I was like
As
throwing
you
it.
do with a wiffle ball
Yes,
bat.
I was throwing stuff at him. He was hitting it, whatever. And I'm looking around trying to find something else to throw. And I stand
yeah.
up and turn around at him. And there's this yellow bat 2 inches from my face. And he's like 30 feet away from me. And he goes, smacks me in the head. Like, and I mean, it strikes me at Mach 7. And I hit the ground and I was like, oh, and like my nose is bleeding. And I was looking at him and he's just like totally blankly just looking at me. I was like, what was that for? And he said, well, I just wanted to see what would happen. That's what exactly verbatim what he said.
It's a scientific theory. And
That was like his thing.
The scientific
We
method.
were on the
That's what-
trampoline one time. We were like pretending
Was
like
it
doing
the Pythagorean
pretend like
theorem?
Yeah.
we're doing like pretend ninja moves and like spinning around or whatever. And then we were training. But so look, I spun around and then his foot strikes me in the head and knocks me off the trampoline. And I hit the ground, and I'm like, the wind knocked out of me, and I look at him and I was like, why did you do that? And he said, I just wanted to see what happened.
Yeah.
Like totally like straight face, like this is normal. I just want to see what happened.
bro, all these people that got nets around the trampolines these days.
Yeah.
No,
Bro.
I don't.
Nah, bro.
Did you see
You
the
gotta-
guy working
never had
out?
that.
Did you see that kid doing push-ups and shadow boxing while
Yeah,
visiting tonight?
buddy, I did.
We hit the whole town at Greenwood with the teens tonight. for
I couldn't look at him because I was laughing.
Okay.
Flyers.
Yeah.
And there's this kid who's shadow boxing. Like he just watched Rocky, and like he just went outside of his his double wide, and he's on the sidewalk
Gotta prepare.
doing push-ups, shadow boxing, doing sit-ups.
Motivated.
On the public sidewalk. And
I
we're
thought he
all
was-
out there, and we have all these teen girls, and he's out there. Sit up, push up, running in place.
He didn't even have good form.
for like 20 minutes. Like the whole time we were there at that section, he
It
was
was
there.
for a while. Like he was sweating.
These guys aren't gonna mess with me.
Yeah.
I
He's such
thought
a
he was
sweetheart.
going to be different than he was.
I thought he was gonna be different.
Did you talk to him?
No, but I saw him.
I thought he was gonna be different than he was. That's such a funny.
Said I saw him.
I didn't want to go up to this lone kid. I'm like, I don't know anything about them. Tyler came on every time. I was like,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
dude.
yeah, definitely different than I thought I was thinking he was going to be.
All right, a couple more things here. We'll go
Well,
to one.
Yeah,
we'll go
here's
to
what we'll do is
just. I don't want to go.
How
we'll
long?
Go 20 to 120, and then cut it in half.
What are we at
We
now?
have to.
okay.
What are we at now? 110? Is that what that
114.
says? 114. Okay. Oh, we still have emails. We didn't make it very far. I've got all this space stuff pulled up. It's the same stuff I've had pulled up for like
For like a month.
we never get to it.
Dude, we're gonna do a space episode one day. I promise. I promised us, and we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like
gonna-
Elon Musk is gonna make it to Mars, we're gonna make it to an episode on space.
I think he will.
Not a chance.
I think he will.
All right, this is Austin Sherry.
We'll
Great
talk about it.
intro and podcast. Great intro and podcast. Thoughts on the fall off of Zion Williamson?
Thoughts on the fall off of Zion Williamson? I'll tell you this: he fell off so much that I haven't even thought about Zion Williamson until this moment.
I had to Google him.
No.
Zion Williamson was
Just given the name, I thought he was a preacher.
no, he was supposed to be the next like greatest of
He
all
was
time.
amazing in
Yeah.
college.
He
was
is
so
heavy.
good.
Did he win in college? The championship? I don't think he did. I think he got knocked out.
He's almost 300 pounds.
Which is
He was
see,
over 300 pounds.
he was. So that's the problem. This man
That's
weighs
insane.
that much, and he can jump out of the sky.
Yeah, look at this guy's arms.
He should be.
Look at
a
you look up
force.
highlights like if you
That's
look
a
up
big
highlights,
boy.
And there'll be some of the
His
craziest
college
highlights you've ever
were
seen.
amazing.
But he
What
had
happened?
Well, his issue was
He's
is
only
once,
his 4th year.
once he made it to the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
he got way out of shape. He looked like
Like fat?
he looked like Grimace.
Which
right?
I don't know if he thought he went to the Pelicans. They were they weren't good. He was the first pick, so they got him. And maybe he didn't feel motivated because they were trashy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Pelican strikes fear into the hearts of the enemy.
here's the thing, right?
I've never seen a pelican. I don't think.
I would. He also hit some injuries and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, I would feel bad for a guy who like makes it to the NBA, gets injuries, and falls off. If I didn't feel, and it kind of goes in with what the theme we've been talking about. If it wasn't self-inflicted, like you want to know why you got bad knees?
Mm-hmm.
It's because you're jumping the way you do with 300 pounds sitting on your knees.
That's a heavy, yeah.
And your organization's been telling you to lose weight. You don't lose weight. You're literally just destroying your knees.
Right.
Like,
He's younger than me.
Yeah, I mean.
yeah,
young.
but like that's what I mean. Like he was supposed to be this huge athlete, and he had all of this potential and all this promise. And then it was like he got to the NBA, and it was just like he was unmotivated, didn't want to do anything. Like in the off season, he would get like crazy fat, and then like would barely lose any of that weight during the season.
Right.
It was just kind of like, I don't know. It's to me, it seemed like it was one of the maybe Cameron's onto something. Maybe it's because the Pelicans were bad, and he was like, if I get
winning
bad enough,
culture.
they'll get rid of me.
Well, maybe even not that, but it's hard to when you're. It is a jump for these kids when they've never lost in high school.
Right.
They're always the best, always on the best teams, winning championships. They're on the best team in college. They're, winning, and they go to this team. It's just like,
They've lost every game that they have on here. I'm looking at. I don't know.
that
Anything
tracks.
I don't know anything. Oh, they won this one, but they won.
Who's Cooper going to? Oh, it's a lottery.
Dude, well, here's the other thing.
They have
here's
like
the thing about Cooper Flag.
They
and
lost
this is kind
like
of funny.
all of them.
This is actually hilarious. Me and Eric were talking about this. Cooper Flag.
Cooper Fag.
They lost.
Keep it.
They lost in the Final Four. Final Four, because it was Houston and
Yeah, Houston beat them.
yeah.
And they gave up 9 points in 30 seconds.
Bro, the last 2 minutes of that game were some of the
30
craziest.
seconds, they gave up 9 points.
I'm gonna do a sidebar. Like you guys keep doing this. I'm gonna count how many wins they've had since November.
Why don't
1st.
you just look up their record?
No, but I want to do
Since
it.
November 1st, AI.
Now he wants to use the AI. So like,
I do.
he wasn't gonna do it until he said AI. And he's like, here's it. So they lost in the Final Four. NBA. There are NBA teams
Yes.
who 100% have been tanking
To get Cooper.
to get Coop.
I thought it was a lottery.
So here's the thing. Well, what it is they
You
take
get so many picks. You get so many chances.
Is they take like, I think it's like the bottom 4 teams. They do a lottery out of the bottom 4 teams to find out who's got the first of the.
Don't you get so many like draws in it though? Like
Yeah.
your name's in there 10 times or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So Cooper Flag, Duke loses in the Final Four.
Right.
Teams have been tanking like the second half of the season
Yeah.
to get him. Cooper Flag goes, I think I might do one more year in college.
Yeah.
Because I think we could win the tournament.
Yeah.
We were that close. I think I might do one more year to have a chance.
Yeah.
So these teams have been tanking to get Cooper Flag, and then he goes, "Nah, I might not go to the NBA.
thought
I might not commit."
He might consider that, especially if his boy comes
I mean,
back.
what's one more year?
Yeah, he's making $4 million a year there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be better than his rookie contract.
yeah. Why not? Why not do one more year, win the tournament, and
They
then
would definitely win.
and if you win the tournament, you probably get a better rookie deal.
Yeah, but that's something that you can't. You'll have 20 years to shoot for an NBA title.
Yeah,
That NCAA title is like gold. Like
I was laughing so hard
It's
because
funny.
obviously teams are tanking for a chance to pick him up, and then he goes, "Nah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do another year at Duke."
That's so
That's
funny.
hilarious.
that is funny.
What did it say? What are you laughing about over there?
It's just really bad.
Pelicans.
It's just really bad.
It says the New Orleans Pelicans had a tough season, finishing with a record of 21-61.
Yeah, it's tough.
Which is the second worst in franchise history.
Wow.
Hey,
Is
dude.
Zion Williamson healthy right now?
Huh?
Is Zion healthy right now?
Here's the deal, bro. Here's the crazy part.
Who's
The Detroit Pistons.
yeah,
we
bro.
going to the playoffs.
Who's gonna win?
No.
Chip.
Win the chip?
No, and will not be playing for the rest of the season due to low back bone bruise
Yeah, because he's jumping around running with 300 pounds.
with a bunch of gut.
Yeah. Ooh. See, there's a lot of good teams out there. Steph Curry and the Warriors are playing crazy right now.
They're in the play-in though.
Yep. Well, that's because they had a rough start.
Yeah.
But right now, Steph's playing out of his mind.
They've
right
won
now.
their play-in, right?
He's been on a
Didn't they
bunch
play
of
tonight?
dude perfect stuff
Did they play
recently.
I don't know if they did or didn't.
I think they do. Well, they played 2 nights. Not
LeBron
last night.
James and Luka they went from
Luka, I know that guy.
Luka Doncic. They are, I think, third best right now. They went from maybe not making the playoffs
They used
to
to beat Celtics again.
In the East I don't know, the Cavs. Cavs are crushing right now.
Yeah, they're good. Oklahoma, Cavs, Celtics,
For the East, it's
Sixers.
I think for the East, it's going to come down to the Cavs or Boston,
That was a joke about the Sixers.
and it should be. Yeah, we know.
I didn't. People who didn't see. I'm like, yeah.
I think it's going to come down to Cavs or Boston. It should be Boston. Tatum and Jaylen Brown are just too nasty.
They're
And then-
amazing.
Yeah, and
What
the thing
about
is, the thing with Boston
Oklahoma
is
City Thunder?
They're
are-
amazing.
They're
They
good
are
right now.
so-
This is
SGA is a
65-14. I feel like that's pretty good.
yeah,
they're amazing.
Yeah,
A lot of people have them winning it.
SGA is probably going to get MVP, although you could argue that Jokic should get it for the 4th year in a row. But
Yeah, he's definitely the best player. But that's not how it works. Jordan was the best player for 11 years straight, and he didn't get it every year.
not for 11 years straight. 6 years for sure.
Yeah, but my point is, LeBron has been the best player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
LeBron was the best player in the league, unarguably, for 10 years.
Yeah.
They don't give it to the.
It's
best
called
player.
they call it voters fatigue, where it's like
Yeah.
we're tired of seeing this guy win it, so we're gonna. Michael Jordan should have at least gotten it for 6 years, easy.
Yeah.
LeBron James should have definitely more than 4, but
He should realistically have 10.
Jokic has won it the past
He's played
3
for 22 years.
Yeah, Jokic has won it 3
and
times.
I feel like you don't have to. You can know I don't know anything about basketball, but I know who the LeBron James is. I don't know any, but you know what I mean.
Right,
so
right.
Especially 5 years ago, like when he was like, not even 5 years ago. I don't know. That 5 years ago probably was his peak.
No, I'd
does
say
he not
his
play
peak.
anymore?
I'd say his peak was probably when he was playing in Miami.
Well, talent wise, but he's. I feel like, I guess, yeah.
Bronny James just tied Michael Jordan for 3-pointers his rookie year. Michael Jordan and Bronny James ended their rookie season with 9 3-pointers.
Wow. He actually has been doing a lot better.
He's getting better. Well, I mean, he couldn't get worse. Let's be honest. But
no, I'm saying he went to the G League and he's actually tearing it up there.
well, they just Lakers put him on the roster for playoffs. He's on the roster. That doesn't mean he's going to play,
Right.
But he's on the roster.
You think that has something to do with his father?
Nepo baby.
What? I am too.
What are you talking about? The worst season any NBA team has ever had was a 72-73 Philadelphia 76ers, who finished with a 973 record.
They're not much better now.
That's funny.
So
That's
I made
funny.
a joke about LeBron James' son being put on the roster, and I said, "Do you think that has something to do with his dad?" But I said it in the facetious way, like,
yeah.
obviously. And he said, "Nepo baby," and I laughed and said, "Ha, I am too."
That's funny.
But in the West, the Nuggets are still super, super good.
Yeah,
The Lakers
Clippers
are super,
looking.
super good.
It sounds like such a stupid name. The Nuggets.
I
The
know.
Denver. Well, it's Denver. It's like
No.
the gold Nuggets.
I didn't.
Not chicken nuggets.
I know. Every time I hear it, no, I think like nugget, like someone with no arms or legs.
Mark Payton preached for us Sunday night,
Okay.
and he said, "This isn't a belt. This is fence for a chicken graveyard." Because
his gut. Dude, I died. I wrote it down. I wrote that down. I'm like,
this is not a belt. This is a fence for a chicken graveyard.
He had a couple of good
like,
dingers.
That was well said.
Seth was funny. Seth's supposed to be coming up.
Yeah, for the youth rally. I want to try to come up Thursday.
When is that again?
May 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
That's right. I think I saved it somewhere.
Yeah, dude, we're approaching it really quick. Yeah, so if you're interested in coming, Faith Baptist Church, May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, youth rally time.
Yeah, it's good. All right, well, let's close this one down. Hey guys, email us calmdownisfine@gmail.com.
Any topics you want to hear about?
Give us your wedgie story.
Don't
I'm just
do
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding. Don't do
I
that.
don't want to hear that.
We won't read it.
But
Instead,
email
we'll
topics
put
that
it on
you're
the internet.
interested in
Don't
hearing
yell.
us talk
Baby's
about.
asleep.
We'll
we're
talk
trying
about
to-
them.
It might slow up a little bit more here right before summer when I have a baby, but we aren't giving up.
Please don't hold
I know
it
it's
against
not
us,
every week.
like Michael
It's more
Shelton
like
does.
we're kind of doing one probably
We're
consistently.
like every other
like,
week. No,
about
less
every
than
other
that.
week.
Yeah.
You can sit like right now.
Yeah, we're doing better than you
we'll
guys
put,
are.
Like, we'll put like 2 out and then skip a week and then 2 out and skip a week. So 2
Yeah.
out of every 3 weeks we're putting one out.
Yep.
At least.
It's a 66% chance. I think
Pray
that's,
for
that's a great
so
odds.
Miss Heather's funeral. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was last Friday. I was honored to be a pallbearer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Harrison asked me to do that. So, it was an amazing funeral, if it can be amazing. But it was really, I mean, the choir.
As far as
sang,
funerals
it was-
go.
the
yeah.
choir sang. It was just worship.
It was
service.
at
It was good.
Solid Rock.
Solid Rock.
Yeah.
The choir sang, and we sang a couple. But Harrison spoke. He did very well. And Miss Heather was quite the lady. She retired at 44.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah,
until
she
then.
retired at 44.
I was
They had
it was
all
pretty
her
amazing.
exhibits and all her drawings for Disney. She was
Mm-hmm.
an animator for Disney. Like,
Yeah.
She made our logo. She created our T-shirts. That's crazy. But yeah, she's with the Lord. And you guys would have already heard the feminism episode that we replayed. So that's out there. That's Miss Heather. So yeah, pray for her.
that was from his wedding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
that was the night we.
As we're saying this, I haven't put it out yet, but I'm going to put it out. I think Friday.
Yeah.
Before this will air.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
This is probably going to be in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping us afloat. Give us an email. Ask us questions. Let us know what we can do better. What you'd like to hear out of us. If you'd like to hear a little sports here and there, it's hard because it won't be live or close to when this stuff's happening because it's spread out. But also remember that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. The Bible says, "No man cometh unto the Father but by me," who is Jesus, and Jesus is amazing. He's the greatest example of love, the greatest example of a friend, the greatest example of sacrifice. He left heaven, he came down to earth, and he died for you. He died on the cross as a sinless, perfect man, and he did that so you could live forever with him. If you have any more questions about that, I know there's tons of content out there. There's tons of ways to figure it out, find out. But if you'd like to talk to us, you can, again, email us, hit us up at our Instagram, our Facebook, and we will get back with you with whatever questions we can answer. But we love you guys. Thanks for listening. You guys got anything?
I don't do it for me. I do it for 3.
All right.
All right, guys. See ya.
Calm down, it's fine. Take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing at the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide. So tune